All right, so here we go at Brands Hatch. I actually wasn't planning on streaming this race because I did one on Wednesday, the points race, and I qualified fifth. And on lap two, my internet connection dropped, and by the time it reconnected, I was like in a wall, last place. Drove it back to a 15th place finish, but it was very frustrating. So after qualifying good at sixth, I didn't want to push it and have that happen again. So we just did the race, and I figured if it turns out to be exciting, I will come back and just do one of these for it. So here we are. So I qualified race here. Some of the rules going on is hard and medium tire compounds are required. You can run all three though. So I elected to do actually a two-stop pit strategy. I started on soft since I was like in the middle of the field, and then would switch to the mediums and then finish up on the hards for like one lap. Since you have to do them, it's mandatory. I figured I'll throw them on the last lap and do one lap or two with them. So, pretty exciting race. I was pretty bummed out, like I said, after qualifying really good last Saturday and then internet just going to crap and it all going south. I was really looking forward to this Wednesday to try again, and then qualifying sixth, I was pretty happy again. It's kind of rewarding to consistently be like right, kind of in the middle of the pack. So I was excited, but also nervous. So first time I've raced at this track. So here we go. And I actually want to switch to my driver cam. Here we go. All right. So a little timid on these first few laps. Like I said, I've had problems in the past of, doing these nonstop and practicing. And then when cars get out there. So I'm just trying to take it easy a little bit. I do like how we were already kind of spaced out. I was like this right there at the top of the D-class drivers. We didn't see the field, but pretty much 1 through 4 were A-class drivers. And then I was fifth, which was the first D-class driver. And then I got right at the very end of qualifying. The guy in front knocked me off. So right at the top of kind of where, my skill level is. So I was hoping to kind of put some ground before. And this guy spins out. So there we go, up to 5. And hopefully not like last week, my internet doesn't go out and I wake up in the wall. Let's see, got a nice little distance back there, the guy behind me. I don't have a lot of people around me, and I think that's when I'm best. My strategy right now is to just get some space, hit some consistent laps, and just try to stay quick and, like I've always said, capitalize, put myself in a position to capitalize on other people's mistakes like I did with that guy back there. So we're just going to run here in 5th place, trying to screw up because this would be a pretty awesome finish. And I screw up right there. I've done that turn 100 times today. I've never missed that turn, and I just run wide, hit the dirt. As soon as the back wheels on this thing hit anything other than tarmac, the whole thing spins. So I get back on. Like I said, luckily I'd built up enough of a kind of distance that I only lost 2 positions, and they're within striking distance, but now I got all these guys breathing down my neck. And I got the jitters because you just wiped out. As you'll see later in the race, it's really hard when you get in a rhythm of turn after turn and then you mess up and you just can't get back in that rhythm. It just messes with your rhythm. Before you know it, you mess up the next turn, and then that messes up the next turn, and it is really hard to not snowball it into just a disaster. So oh, you see the guy up ahead of me there in 6th just spun out. Now this guy, this is kind of why I decided we need to do this race, because we have a little bit of an issue. You can see he's really squirrely. And I don't know what's going on with this guy, but I don't know what to see on the replay here if I do something to him, because he kind of spends quite a few of the race badgering me and slowing down, and you'll see kind of what happens. I don't really bump him there. You can see I pass him clean. He's getting wide. don't know if he just thinks I'm too slow, and he just starts kind of... He just makes it his life mission here to come and get me. And I don't know if he's glitching or something, but it's just really weird. Because I kept looking at the telemetry, you don't see it on the replay, and he would be like 4 seconds back, and then all of a sudden he'd be within a second, and then he'd be back, and then back on me. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know what the heck was going on. I don't know if maybe the game was kind of glitching and the readout wasn't necessarily what was actually going on. So he comes up right behind me. He's flashing his lights at me. He ran it wide because he was coming in so fast. Again, this car isn't the fastest in a straight line. I kind of knew I'd have a problem with this track with these long sweeping corners. He gets wide there. I got this BMW breathing down my neck. Like I got nothing in front of me. It's like a good 9 seconds to the people in front of me. So I'm just trying to keep these guys off my back here. And I'm sure they are faster than me, but until they get right next to me, you know, I'm not gonna like do them dirty, but they at least got to get on the inside of me or get up to my bumper, and then I'll let them pass. But I'm not just gonna pull off to the side of the road. So it's just kind of a little cat and mouse. They gain ground on me, and then I put a little space on them. Still in 5th place, though. I mean, like I said, the top 4 ahead of me were quite a bit quicker. The top 3 especially were a lot quicker. So I mean, this is actually right where I want to be. I'm not expecting to run with those guys. They were all A-class drivers. Their qualifying times were like 5 seconds ahead of mine, and then so it was clear there was like an A pack and a B pack. So I mean, right now I'm right where I want to be. I think this BMW makes a move here in a second, but overcooks it. There he goes, but he goes way too hard into that turn. I take the spot back. And this is, I think, when the Citroen comes up and really starts hassling me. You see that BMW back there goes wide again. Like I said, sometimes when you mess up, it is hard to keep it from snowballing. As you'll see later in this race from me. Alright, so we're crossing to start lap 5, still in P5. Deepest in a race I've ever been this high up. After that little spin we had, I'm, getting locked back in now. I'm really getting a little frustrated though, because I'm looking over at my lap times and at 1:38, and I qualified 1:36, I think, on these soft tires. So I should be quite a bit quicker than this. I think I'm being just really timid, and I'm focusing a lot on I'm looking over on the side of the seconds, how far behind me this guy is. But I do put a lap, I think it's this lap right here actually. My fastest lap of the race, because this guy's a little bit behind me. I'm clear of that BMW guy, and I'm just kind of focusing on driving. A little squirrely there, give this guy an opening. And this is when he really does me dirty here in a minute. I think he was just having internet issues. And then he goes really wide and runs into a wall. Bam, right there. And then he bounces right back in front of me. Did you see that? The only thing I can think of is he's having internet issues. I think he does it. I think he was probably having internet problems. And sometimes what you see on your screen isn't what actually is happening. Or I was having internet problems. One of us having, probably me, because it did drop me out of a race earlier. Thanks, Spectrum. But it was really wigging me out during the race because I could not figure out what was going on with this guy. He's on my tail, and then he's back, and he's on my tail, and then he's wrecking, and then he's not. It was just really weird. I think this is where he makes his move right here. Gets on the inside. Punts me, but that's okay. I keep it. We're fine. But then he goes wide again and hits... Look, does the same thing he did before. Hits that barrier. And then bam! Right back on me. And he just drives past me and does it again. I don't know what the heck is going on. I think he hits another barrier. And he's right back on me. So clearly there's some network issues going on here. That or he's hacking the game or glitching or something. I don't really know what to make of that. And then he bunts me again. And I'm going really slow here because there you go. 1:36.955. I think that's the fastest lap I do on the race, still on these soft tires. And that's with dude back here driving through portals and ramming into me. Runs wide again, and the BMW. That's where you get caught watching the car in front of you, and they brake late, and then you do this. And I brake late, but sometimes you're following a car, and then they make a mistake, and you're so watching their taillights, you make the same mistake. Here he goes again on the inside, punts me again, and that puts me into the dirt. I mean, he had a little bit of space there, but it seemed pretty... He actually gets a penalty up there, you can see. So let's go back and let's view it from his angle. I think he just tries to get in the inside. It's not necessarily all the way there. And he just punts me. And he got a 4-second penalty for that. And me, on the other hand, I come out of that, and I'm actually not too scathed. Like I said, there was a decent gap, but now I got this guy right on my tail. This guy serves his 4-second penalty up here. And we almost catch him. And at this point, I'm kind of freaking out. I don't know if I watched too many YouTube videos, but I kind of think maybe he's purposely going kind of slow so I can catch back up to him so he can take me out again. I mean, I've seen it happen before. Some of these guys, that's just how they play the game. I didn't obviously make a note of what his driver rating was before the race or anything like that to see his sportsmanship rating. You can see I brake late there because I'm freaking out and overthinking it. But at this point in my head, I'm looking at him hitting his brakes early and kind of squirreling, and I'm thinking he's letting me catch up to him so he can take me out again. But my thought is, my plan was to pit on lap 9 or 10. So at this point, I'm thinking we're 8 laps in. If he wants to play that game, he can. I'm going to pit in a few laps anyway, and I'll probably get clear of him at that point. To be fair, though, I don't think that was the case now, looking back at the replay. I think he was having network issues, and I think he did come in a little hot. He was probably faster than me and wanted to get inside and punted me, but he did send me a message at the end of the race saying he was sorry for the bump, and I didn't reply because at the time I was still kind of heated about it and thinking that, he did it on purpose. But he did have an S rating, and for all I know, it was my connection that caused the problem. I don't know. So I guess I'm over it now. Alright, so we are coming across for lap 9. Just going to speed it up a little bit here. Not much happens this lap. See, guy's still behind me. I overcooked that one again, that same turn I did earlier. Just a few spots here and there. Gotta clean up. And you can see the guy behind me kind of disappeared. So my plan is, okay, I got a decent gap. I'm going to pit now and hope that I can get in and out and not lose too much ground. So you can see me kind of hitting the brakes here because this pit lane is kind of weird. And I'm in control of the car here. I go way too slow here. This is embarrassing mentioning it now. But didn't want to run into a wall. I've seen guys wreck into that and really mess them up. Alright, so we put on the mediums, and the plan now is to run these for about 7 laps and switch back on to the hards for just like the last lap. So we come back out, we only lost 1 position, and 7th is right ahead of us. That's pretty good, and we're on fresh tires. He's ghosting. I don't know if that is because of network issues, if you're having so many problems, eventually the game just ghosts you. I'm kind of ghosting, or if it's after you've bait and baned, and maybe if you're playing racing somewhat kind of dirty. See, we bumped there though. Not entirely sure how that worked. I didn't actually realize that when the race was going on, but we were ghosted, but we made contact, and I went into the wall there. So we lost 2 more spots. Again, I have fresher tires, I'm assuming. I don't know if any of these guys pitted, but... But now you get some extra racing action. Most of this race I've been out by myself or looking at people behind me. Now I actually got some people ahead of me to try to catch. So these guys ghost. The only thing I can think of is, it's probably my connection. In the game, they probably touched, and then it ghosted them. I don't really know. Now this guy, the second place car, that's because they're lapping us. So when you're a lap car, you ghost, so you can't mess up somebody else's race. But all these guys, 8 and 7 here in front of me, are on my lap. I am racing these guys, and you can see they're just going in and out of ghosting. So I go to the inside here. That guy's really timid in this first turn. Back up into P8. 7's right in front of us. He's over-braking a little bit. Again, while this 17 car here is no threat, it's still just, it's hard to, make your brain not be aware of them. But he has no bearing on what we're doing. Just trying to catch this Porsche. And keep that guy off my back. Oh, see that's where I got punted, and I didn't have enough to make the pass, so I backed out a little bit. Didn't want to wreck this guy. Trying to be a good sport, and it cost me here. So the Mazda gets back in front of me, but you see up there, that guy overcooks it, and there you go. We're back in the P8 where we started this whole thing. You can't really notice it now, but my times on the medium tires were actually not that different than my times on the soft tires. In hindsight, I maybe shouldn't have done the soft tire strategy and just tried to do a one-stop with mediums and hards, because there didn't seem to be a huge difference. I mean, I'm sure the top tier guys, the guys that are like pros, are noticing 2, 3, 4 second differences depending on tire compound, but for me, it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. When I qualified high, I didn't want to get blown away by everybody right off the bat, so I went ahead and ran with the soft, did that strategy. You see, we are hanging in here with this Mazda. Got a little bit of ground. Oops. Admire my pretty car. I never really catch this guy. See, look at that. All my lap times over there. 136s. And I'm on the medium compound now. I'm going quite a bit faster than I was on the soft. It's just not how it's supposed to go. Consistently 136s. So either I'm settling in now and just getting comfortable and not worrying about stuff anymore, or I don't know. I'm faster on the mediums than I was on the softs, which is not really how it's supposed to go. Here we go. This is the start of it. So I go wide there. I try to keep it. I lose it. And I think I just go, for some reason I don't go back on the track. I go off of the grass again. I get back on. And I haven't actually lost a position, but I got this guy right behind me now again that I've already put away. And I still have to pit one more time, so I'm super frustrated. And then it just gets worse. I totally forget to brake here. Run that way wide. Don't worry about that lap car. Cones everywhere. I guess it wasn't as bad. I feel like, I don't know. Oops, shoot. When I was doing the race, I felt like that was way worse after I spun again. But watching the replay, I kind of got it back together, I guess. I felt like that lap was just awful. I was frustrated. Alright, so when I lost the position, I'm obviously faster than the dude 9 because I've already... Nope, here we go again. Yeah, that's okay. Now it's coming back to me. I'm remembering now. And then I just forget to brake. Yep, so here it is. And it just snowballs. So here's where, yeah. I missed this. I totally missed the apex there. I missed this one too. Yep. And at this point, I was sweating it, feeling the heat, and just super upset. But honestly, this guy didn't seem to take advantage of it behind me. So, could be worse. The only thing I'm thinking about now, though, is it's going to take about 4 seconds. I'm going to lose about 4 seconds when I go in the pit. And I don't want this dude to pass me when I go in the pits, but it's probably going to happen. And if I wouldn't have spun out and had all those problems, I could have put enough distance between us to be clear of him. But at this point, I got no one to blame but myself. Try to get a top 10 out of it. Ironically, the guy in 7th now is the green car that took us out, but it's not really going to matter because here I come into the pits now again to switch to the hards for 1 lap. The other thing too I got to think about, that I think you'll see caught a lot of people, is once you're lapped, the race ends when the leader finishes. So you can see there it says final lap. So I had to pit on 16. If my plan was to pit on lap 17 and run them for the last lap of the race, you're going to get caught out there without running the necessary tire. So, and I think that's what happened. You're going to see here in a minute. So I come out of the pits. I'm in P10. 9 is all over the place. So I'm thinking it's the last lap. I at least got to get a top 10. I want to be inside the top 10. I finished 9th last week. That was my highest I've ever finished. I at least can equal that. I should be able to catch this guy. And I just kind of messed up, turn up a little bit. But I still think I can catch him before the end of the lap. So you can see the leader's already finished. And that he ends the race. So when we all cross the finish line, we're done. So that guy kind of got it together, and he's pulling away from me. So at this point, I'm telling myself, well, at least I got a top 10. Not too bad. I mean, after the debacle of last week, can't ask for much more than top 10, I guess. Got no one to blame but myself. But there's a surprise coming. A very little surprise. Oh, look at this. To close it all off. So I come across in P10, but no, I'm 7th. And that is because the people, when you don't do the necessary tires, and if you're watching this and you race Gran Turismo Sport, you know this, you get a 1-minute penalty if you don't run the required tires. So what I'm thinking happened is some of these guys, their strategy was to switch to the hards for 1 lap, the last lap. And because the leaders lapped us, they never came in and put on those hards, or they weren't aware. I mean, sometimes you get people that just don't know, but for that many people to not be aware of the rule about the tires makes me think that they didn't think of it because they got caught off guard with being lapped and the race ending the lap early. So there you have it. We obeyed the rules, used all the tires necessary, and didn't get penalized, and we jumped ahead of all those people and actually finished 7th. So it turns out, again, I equal my best, or set a new best on the manufacturer series. I got 33 points for that race, which is a high for races. So there you go. Yep, 7th place. See where we set in the rankings tomorrow. But yeah, I would love to have seen what I could have done if I didn't kind of shoot myself in the foot. I got, again, going back about the green car, I think that was my issue with the internet. I don't think he was racing dirty. I never said anything to him, so, it's whatever. It's not like I cussed him out or anything like that. But, so we're good. We'll bygones be bygones. Take a 7th place finish and try to do better. Keep doing better next time. A new high and new points record. So, there you go. Again, yeah, sorry guys for doing it through a replay. But after what happened Saturday, I was really gun shy about trying to stream it and the same thing happening. So I figured I'll just race it. If it's bad, no one will ever know. If something interesting happens, I'll go ahead and just do a replay and record my voiceover. So there you have it. 7th place finish, racing, and we're almost to the end of the series. There's only about 5 more races left before the end of this season. and we will see where we can finish up with only running the last 10% of the season. So we will see you next time. Let me know what you guys think. If you'd rather me do commentary, obviously I'll try to record the actual thing and then do commentary afterwards, or if you like straight up live to get my yelling and being angry about people running into me. But let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.